Everybody, thanks for coming on. Just going to let you all come here. We'll get started in just a few minutes. But for those of you that are on time, every great coach loves when his team is on time. So thanks for coming and thanks for hanging with me today. I know you could be probably in many other places, but I want to add some value for you today. I want this to be an exciting time. We are in an exciting time. It's September. We have just a few months left in this year, and we have a really good chance to win this year, which I know I'm really excited about. It's like usually right after Labor Day, I get super pumped because it gets real. It gets very real. It's like, when I was in baseball, you know, the playoffs are right around the corner. So right now we're playing in a time where it really matters and it really counts. So I put together a great presentation for you guys today, and I hope you enjoy it. And I keep this formally informal. So if you have questions as I go along, I'll do my best to weave them in and answer them. And again, I do appreciate you spending time with me today. And I'm going to queue up. I'm going to do a share screen so I can get this presentation up there and we can get rocking. And I'll have you feeling better in no time and feeling ready to go, feeling inspired and feeling super hungry. So thank you again for coming out. And I'll do a little share screen here and get this presentation up and rolling. And we will start this webinar, which I'm very excited about. So I'll tell you what prompted me to do this too. I've been coaching a lot of teams lately, a lot of individuals, and we're in a really interesting time right now because we're all coming off of this period, known as quarantine or known as COVID. And I believe that we're past that and we're going to be moving ourselves forward and we're going to be moving towards the goals that we set for many companies in Q4 of last year to set up a big win for the first year of this decade, which is 2020. We're going to get right back there. And for many of you, I know many of the companies that I've worked with, you've already blown through those goals, which I'm super proud of you, and I'm super happy to be a part of these kind of companies that are game changers. They're excited. They play the game hard. But there are going to be some folks on here today that maybe you need to get pumped up. Maybe you need a little bit more clarity, or maybe there's members on your team that you need to inspire and motivate to help you win this year known as 2020. Okay, so a couple things. I'm not going to mention COVID again. I'm not going to ever mention after this moment new normal. But what I am going to mention is that from this point forward, hang with me, and I want to inspire your competitive nature. I want the champion within you to come out by the end of this. I want you to take action. So please don't listen to this for 30 to 40 minutes and then go right back to the way you were living prior to. I want this to be a game changer for you. So I titled this, How to Align Your Team to Win the Fourth Quarter. Now, some of you may be saying it's all about team. It's also about you too, because in order to align and inspire your team, I have to align and inspire you as well. So the lessons are for your team, but they're also for you as well. And this is a little hashtag I got going right now that says, Win 2020. We got to get you to win 2020. So yesterday I was doing a talk for a great company, Sinclair Broadcasting, and very powerful company. They own a bunch of different media outlets throughout the country and a wonderful organization. And I put the number 108 on the screen for them yesterday. And today I have the number 107. What does that number mean to you? Now, what does 107 mean? 107 is simply how many days we have left in this year. This is how many days we have left in this year. 107. We got 107 days left to win. We have 107 days left to finish what we started. Now, did we have some bumps and ups and downs and pivots and changes, in the mid part of this year? Absolutely. But look at how much time we still have left on the board. We got 107 days left. That is plenty of time to do what I call closing the gap. Again, if you're a team in professional sports, you have enough time to get yourself positioned for the win. You have enough time to get yourself into contention so you could win this thing and bring it home. And I'm going to tell you this right now. There is going to be no better feeling for you than winning this year. This year has a lot of significance. It's symbolic. Like I said, it's the beginning of a new decade. But it's also a year where so many people packed it in about 3 months into this thing. Maybe people that work for you, maybe you for a minute. But from this point forward, we are focused on closing gap and winning. We're in contention, and we're going to finish this thing. Because when we win this year, 2020, it'll be a year that we look back on. It may be a year that defined us as individuals, or a year that defined your company. It may have been a year where you had to find another way. Maybe it was a year where you had a chance to actually look at the people that made up your company. Look at the toughness, look at the mindsets, look at the attitudes of those people. Maybe it gave you a chance for the first time to step back and take a look at your company for what it is and say, hey, here's where we're strong, here's where we're weak. But instead of just talking about it in all these meetings like we always do, we're actually going to take time, because we have it, and we're going to correct the things that need to be corrected. We're going to streamline. We're going to improve our systems. We're going to improve our service. We're going to improve the way that we go about our business on a day-to-day basis. You got 107 days to make it happen. 107 days to bring that win home. And that's what I know you could do. And I'm really excited for you to leave here today and say, Coach, I'm ready to go out and win, and I'm ready to inspire my team for the win as well. So let me figure out how to advance this slide, and I'll be right with you. Okay, so what will it take for you and your team to win this year? Win the fourth quarter. What does it take? I can't tell you how many people and teams, leadership and below, that don't understand what winning is. They haven't even truly defined it for themselves. They put some things on paper, but they can't actually articulate what the win is. So for you, what is your win this year? Personally, and what is your win professionally? What is your win for your team? But most importantly, where we are right now, what is the win that you need to go get between now and the end of the year in those 107 days? What is it that you are going after? You see, for me, I have a board to my right over here, and I have 3 things that I'm after, from physical and professional. 3 things. It's super clear. So when I look at what I do every day, if those 3 things don't match up with what I have over here, I'm wasting time. So I'm very clear on what my goals are and what my objective is for this year, but most importantly, for this quarter. And I need you to be too. Laser focused. We hear it all the time. Laser focused. But it's important, know your workstation. Where do you do most of your work from? For some of you right now, it's your office. For others, it's a home office. Wherever it is, make sure that you have your targets right in front of you, because all you have to do is look down at what's in front of you and say, hey, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, or I'm not. If it doesn't match up, if what I'm doing doesn't match up with those 3 things, I'm wasting my time, or those 2 things, or that 1 thing. So wherever you are right now as we're heading into this fourth quarter, stay focused on the things that matter most. Anything outside of those is going to be costly for you, and it's going to affect and determine whether you win this year or not. And again, you're here today because it's all about winning. And I'm not here to be a motivational speaker for you. I always say, I do go out and speak to companies and teams, but I'm a coach first. So I'm here to coach you today to get that win. And that's what it's all about. So what do we need? We need clarity. We got to define the win. What does winning look like to us? Get super clear, laser focused. And when you do that, you create clarity. And you know what clarity creates for your people? It creates confidence. It creates belief. There's nothing worse than a confused leader trying to inspire his people. And they know it. They know you're confused. They know that you don't actually know where you're going. So when you get clear, everybody else gets clear too. So I got to get you super clear. Who are you? What are you all about? What are your goals and objectives right now for the fourth quarter? And what determines whether you have won or not in 2020? You need to be able to answer all of those questions. And when you answer those questions, I'm telling you, your day-to-day plan of attack, the actions that you take every day, they're going to be much more natural, and they're going to be totally aligned, which we're going to go over later. Belief, right? It's your job as a leader to believe in what it is that you're doing and why you're doing it. So we got to get our teams to believe too in what we're doing and why we're doing it. So belief is a big part of how we could win the fourth quarter. I'm coaching you right now. And again, there's nothing more important to me than you taking this, what you're learning today, and going and channeling that into your people. Get them to believe. But also, you got to know what they believe. Again, I can't tell you how many companies the leadership believes one thing and they're inspired, but their people believe something else. And they may be inspired too, but they're actually going different directions. We got to get everybody channeled and moving this way. But we must believe in what it is that we're doing and why it is that we're doing it. Okay? Focus. Only do things that matter. You ever look at the list? Like I keep these pads, right? I have these yellow pads. I got them everywhere. But I always have one in front of me, and it's my hit list. It's I call it my kill list. These are the things that I have to do for the week. I don't do just for the day. I do it for the week. So I build out my macro for the week, and then within that, I have my daily tasks of execution, and I stay focused on that. And I do so by, again, going back to what winning means to me right now in the fourth quarter and what it meant for me for the year and what I'm doing each week and each day during that week. Is it aligning towards those goals that I told you, those 3 to 5 goals that are over here to my right? And it has to. And if it doesn't, I'm doing things that are actually moving me away from where it is I want to go. So same thing for you. Take a look at what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Time is a very important thing for you to understand. Where are you spending it? But you lead people. So where are your people spending their time? And if your people are spending time in the wrong space, even 10 to 20% of their time doing the wrong things, that's costly to a leader. And if you're spending time in the wrong spaces and doing the wrong things, it's going to be costly to the whole, because remember, it's important that you have clarity, you have belief, and you have focus, okay? Now, let's talk about another important thing that we have to have at all times. It's a leader's job to check the temperature of their team and their organization and make sure that their team and their organization is working in alignment, meaning they are aligned to those goals that we talked about and that we set as an organization, and that they're also aligned to the personal and professional goals. So it's important that we're always working in alignment. So for myself, I'll use myself as an example. I have to be working in alignment to achieve what it is I want to achieve professionally, but I also have to be working in alignment to make sure that what I'm achieving professionally is also helping me personally. And for so long, there's been this gap, this divide between personal and professional. But today, we're in a really unique time period. People want to know, how is it that what I do professionally helps me personally? And I'm going to go into this later, but it's your job as a leader to show them that alignment and then make sure that they're working in alignment at all times, okay? So it's something that's very important that you understand that, okay? Working in alignment, because the moment you stop working in alignment, or your people stop working in alignment, you know what happens? You lose them. And when you have enough people not working in alignment, not understanding how what they do professionally helps them personally, that gap gets bigger, and you start to have hiring problems. You start to have people problems. You start to have morale issues. But if we really want to talk corporate, you start to have culture issues. And when you have culture issues, you could destroy your whole company. So you show me a company with great culture, and I'll show you a company that probably has great results. And it's so important that you're always aligning personal and professional. People say, hey, I don't want to cross those two. Tell you, I work with some really amazing folks that run some amazing companies. It's personal. Where do you spend most of your time? At work. It's personal. As a leader, make it personal. Understand where your people want to go, what they want out of this. Next thing is unity, right? Together we win, together we lose. you got to understand always how what we're doing, again, brings the team closer together. And when the team comes closer together, what happens to me, the individual, but what happens to us as a team? So again, it's the leader's job to make sure that unity is strong. What can we do to keep our teams more united? Well, just making sure your team is happy and your culture is better because you're investing in your people will lead to unity. Doing off-sites, bringing in experts to enrich your people is very helpful. Enriching yourself and then spreading that message to your people creates unity. Telling you so much today, your people want you to invest in them just like you want to be invested in, and just like somebody did invest in you at one point in your career. It feels good. And when everybody's investing in the people and in each other, unity is created and culture, again, is wrapped around that. You have a united group of people working together in alignment with focus, and all of them have belief and they're working towards a common goal that serves them professionally and personally. That's what everybody wants. You know, it's amazing because there's so many books out there today and everybody's reading about leadership and how to be a better leader, but it's everything together, and then you have to go apply. Really, it comes down to application, right? And people want very simple things. They want to know that you care about them. They want to know that you're interested in their development. They want to know that you're interested in their life. They want to know that you care where they go in life and what they achieve. They want to know that. And when you deliver that, it excites them. It makes them hungry. It makes them more hungry. And how do we win the fourth quarter? How do we win the year? How do we achieve our objectives and our goals? We get hungry people working in full alignment, together, united. And in doing that, they have a great chance to win. And you have a great chance to win. And your company has a great chance to win. And I'm going to go over later why that's super important. You obviously know why it's important, but I want to talk deeper on that. Next thing is, if we want to win the fourth quarter, energy. I'm working with a really wonderful company right now across the border to our north here in the United States. And what really excited me about the CEO of the company was she said, I want you to get my people healthier, physically and mentally. I don't want them to be dealing with stress and overwhelm and be left to their own devices as to how they're going to figure out their own life while all of this other stuff is going on. I want to give them the support that they need so they could go out and be great every day. And I want you to coach them. And I want you to coach them. Some of them are going to need help with their overall fitness. Some of them are going to need help with their mindset. Some of them are going to need help in terms of putting their schedules together and learning how to work from home. Some of them are going to need to learn how to prioritize things and learn what's important and what's not. And in doing that, I can't tell you again how many of the individuals I'm working on their physicality so I can improve their energy profile so they can go out and compete every single day. One of my lines is energy wins. And if you have energy, and if you have more energy than the person next to you, and you have energy, you have sustainability, you're going to be able to do more. And you're going to be able to work harder and work longer. And over time, that hard work and that longevity will lead you to greater results. Again, so much of business today, it's an endurance sport. It's the most competitive sport in the world. Baseball, we work 9 months a year and take 3 months off. We're still working out and training for energy and training our body and physicality, but we get 3 months where there's no competition. In business, it's 365 with a few holidays sprinkled in. Most people are so caught up in what they do every day that they have a hard time even turning off for those holidays, right? But energy wins, and every day we have to be at peak. So what do we need to do to get our energy at peak? You got to train yourself physically every day. You got to figure out for yourself, what do you enjoy? What do you like physically to get your heart rate up, break a sweat? It could be walking, it could be hiking, it could be running, it could be cycling, it could be Pilates, it could be boot camps, it could be cardio on an elliptical. I don't care. But there has to be something that ignites you and your physical state every single day with one main objective: peak energy. And if you have peak energy, that is a very clear reflection that within your body, you are working well at a cellular level. So when you have great energy, that is an indication that your functionality is strong underneath the skin. And that is something you cannot forget. So when you're training for energy, you're training for health, but you in training for energy are training to be a great competitor at what you do. And leadership, this talk today, as much as it is about winning the fourth quarter, it's also about leadership. You need energy to motivate your people. You need energy every day to inspire your people. You need energy to show up and work 12 to 14 hours. You need energy to push a deal over the finish line. And if you have the energy, even if the other person doesn't, number one, they're going to feel your energy. But number two, that may be what it takes to push a deal through and get it done before the end of the year. See, what I found is there's a lot of lazy people out there. They're not as hungry as you are. But we have to make them feel our juice and our passion and our desire to make it happen. And that moves me into the next thing here, where it's about passion and enthusiasm. We got to have passion. We got to have enthusiasm. It is a very, very powerful currency. And if I have passion and I have enthusiasm, I'm going to move you. I'm going to move you towards something. You ever sit across from somebody and they're disinterested? You know that they're not passionate about what they do. They're not enthusiastic. How does that make you feel? Do you want to do business with that person? No. And today there's so many options as to who we can transact with and who we can do business with, that the person that brings the passion, authentic passion, not BS passion, and brings enthusiasm has a great chance of securing the deal, making it happen. And that's what I want you to understand. Passion and enthusiasm. We all show it in different ways. I'm a high octane, high energy guy. Again, I'm an on-field coach. I have to wrestle type A, high horsepower type people all day to get them to do what it is that they say they want to do, and I have to get them to actually do it. So my energy is probably different than yours, but you got to find for yourself what your energy level is and how you bring passion and enthusiasm. It could be being very detailed in your work and being passionate about your work. It could be in how you create presentation and how you present your deals. It could be how you talk to people, how you make them feel. Passion and enthusiasm. Again, I say it's a very powerful currency, and most people don't talk about it. I mean, a lot of people that have gone through sales training programs and they're a part of, different trainings, but passion and enthusiasm, as simple as it is, and energy, as simple as it is, it's oftentimes overlooked for strategy and tactic. But I'm so focused on the person behind the strategy and behind the tactic. I'm focused on every individual that makes up the team, from the CEO on down, from the leadership on down. Who are these people as people? What makes them tick? And if I understand that and you understand that, that's how we make impact, and that's how we win. And that's how you motivate and stimulate in a professional sports environment where you have multimillionaires that are really talented. You got to get to the individual and know what is important to them right now in this moment. And my most common question that I ask professional players when I coach them is, how do you feel? And I may ask them that 3 or 4 times a day because they're such dynamic creatures. It's like I always say, they're like Formula One cars. They go around the track, they're fine. They go around again, and they have a problem. High performers are no different. CEOs are very touchy people. Oftentimes, high performers in general, detail-oriented people, are a little bit touchy. But understand this, passion and enthusiasm are so critical to your overall success. And the other thing, listen, I'm a man who loves, I wrote my book, Habits of a Champion. I love building champions, but I know where that process starts with a champion's mindset. You got to see yourself every day as a champion. And when I come and talk to groups, together, for those of you that have been to my seminars, we all stand up, we put our hands in the air and we scream, I am a champion. We are champions. So we keep our teams inspired and we keep ourselves inspired. by how we see ourselves, right? If you see yourself as tired, lazy, I've always been this way, that's how you're always going to be. I never get it done in the fourth quarter. I always struggle this time of year. This is a slow time for me. That is all crap. And you have to vacate your mind of that crap. You have to say, starting today, I got 107 days. I'm going to win every day. And every day I'm going to determine what my win is before I start my day. It may be a phone call you have to make. It may be a phone call your team has to make. It may be a meeting you have to have. But coach, I can't meet in person. Find another way. But you have got to approach every day playing offense, being on the attack, and saying, what am I going to do today? And when I do that, that's my win for today. Tomorrow, I'm going to hit it again. What's my win for today? And just win. And if you win 107 times, it could be small victories. You get somebody on the phone that you haven't been able to get on the phone. There's a deal out there that you've been working on. There's a partnership, a relationship. There's a team member that you've needed to hire. There's a team member that's underperforming. You have to have a meeting with them to get to understand what's going on with them. That's your win for the day. Determine what your win is. Make sure it's in alignment to what it is that your goals are and what your company's goals are, and attack every freaking day. And when you win, remember, you've got a better chance of your team winning. And I would say, I will win, we will win, whatever it takes. Champion's mindset. I am a champion. So I want you to really spend a second with this concept here, because it's so real. Champion's mindset is simply saying, listen, I'm a champion, I'm a winner, and I'm going to bring you guys with me through my energy, through my passion, through my enthusiasm, because I'm aligned, because I'm focused, because I believe. And when we do that, you'll be amazed at how many people will line up behind you. People are dying. Your people are dying to get behind you. But they're dying to get behind an enthusiastic and passionate leader that's aligned, that believes in unity, that believes in everything that we talked about today, and that wants to win, and that has their best interest in mind. And when you put all that together, man, it's fun. It's fun to see people get behind you and feel them behind you. For once, some people may say. Let's talk for a minute about great leaders. Great leaders, they dig in, right? They're not afraid to have the difficult conversations. Hey, we're in business, we're in life. We have to have that internal confidence and self-belief to have some conversations that suck. Maybe a partnership that's not working out. Maybe a relationship that's not working out. Maybe it's somebody on your team that needs a kick in the butt. Maybe it's something that you're not comfortable doing as a leader, which is going up to one of your people and saying, hey, what's going on? And actually listening to what's going on. Those are the difficult conversations that leaders have. And there may be somebody on your team that's dying to have that conversation right now. So great leaders, right? They take action. They don't talk about it. They be about it. Mostly, if you sit around and say, I have to do this, I have to do that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. If you find yourself saying those things and not doing them, you have to check yourself, because those who take action win. Even if you take the wrong action. I want to show you something. I use this diagram when I talk to companies a lot. In the middle is the word action. Down here is strategy and contemplation. If you're over strategizing and over contemplating and not taking action, you're going to fail. And most people, when they fail, they go back to strategizing and contemplating. Why did I fail? Why didn't that work out? What do I have to do? I need a new approach. I need to take a new course. I need a mentor. I need this. And it's like, no, you don't need that. You already came up. You've been successful already. Do more of the things that made you successful. Take more action so you can move yourself towards positive results. If you're getting a negative result, change your action and move yourself to positive. Don't constantly spend too much time strategizing and contemplating. That's going to frustrate you. That's going to burn time. Time's a precious resource. Don't waste it. We got 107 days left. Now is not the time to be contemplating and over strategizing. Not if you want to win this year. And that's a big thing that I see. I see too many people living in this over strategizing mentality and mindset. And I have to figure it out. And they have charts and they have graphs and they have books and they have notebooks filled with plans that they never act on. Your people may be like that. You may be like that. That has to stop. I'd rather see you take action and fail and figure out the right action by taking more action so you could actually turn it into a win. And remember, it's very hard to be successful without failing. Failing is a part of the process. If you don't suck wind at some point, maybe you're not taking big enough steps forward, but you will. It's guaranteed. You're going to have days that are not good. You're going to have deals that go sideways. You're going to have times that you fail. And that's just what it is. But it's important that, again, you go right back to that champion's mindset. And that's why I have it up here. I am a champion and I will succeed. I will find a way. And it's your job to program that into your mind every single day. Program it. I am a champion, and you have to believe that. When you walk into a room and you may feel intimidated for a split second, perk yourself up. I'm a champion. Because here's the thing, a lot of other people in that room, they may not be feeling like champions either. But if you train your mind, you got a great chance to win. Success is so mental, and so many people say, oh, mentality today, and mentality, growth mindset. But it's one thing to say it. It's another thing to actually believe it. And the way we coach people is like a batter, a hitter, when they step in the box, these guys may be intimidated, but if they start thinking about all the times that they got out or all the times that they didn't have success against a certain pitcher, they have no chance or minimal chance for success. So let's go back here. Always take action, right? Great leaders, they're finished when the job is done. You know, I think people today oftentimes, again, not the high performers out there, but people have become very recreational in their work. And I have a client of mine who I'm very fortunate enough and blessed to work with, and he's a multi-billionaire. And I said, hey, do you believe that your work should always be fun? He goes, no, I believe that work is work and fun is fun. And it made me think, how many of us are crossing everything over so much? It's not that he's saying don't enjoy your work, but don't make your work so nonchalant and so recreational when your goals are so big and your aspirations are so big as an individual, as a leader, and as a company. So you got to be super passionate about what you're doing, obviously, but don't make your work recreational. Make it the most important thing while you're doing it. And when you're not doing it, your family is your most important thing. Your health is your most important thing. But you got to remember that, right? So you're finished when the job is done. Work till it's done. Get it done. Don't put it off. The more you put things off, the more you're going to start to float. And I believe in always working in straight lines, moving towards your target. Always move towards that target. Great leaders, right? They set the bar and hold others accountable to the bar they set. This is a really important statement because I'm working with a lot of executives that lead people today that say, Coach, what if my bar is too high for the people I lead? I said, well, it's your job, right, to positively collaborate with them and encourage them to rise up towards your bar. But you do that first by figuring out where their bar is currently set. So it's one thing as a leader to have a high bar, and that's okay. But you got to figure out where your people are at in terms of their own bar, and then figure out, again, that gap. How am I going to get them there? You can coach your people up, but it takes investment and it takes time. Great leaders are always in the pursuit of excellence, and they always believe in themselves, right? Even when they don't. I didn't put that in there, but great leaders always believe in themselves even when they don't. Okay? And I'm going to share something with you today. This is my first time putting together my own webinar. Okay? Did I know exactly how to do it? Nope. Did I figure it out? Yep. How did I do it? I took action and I said, I'm going to do my best. But ultimately, I'm always going to believe in myself and say, I'm going to figure out how to do it, and I'm going to make it great because I'm going to show up for the people that are on the other end. This is one of my favorite teams here. I love these people. You can see them. They're definitely a group of champions. My team at RK. And I would say great leaders are always investing in their people, and investment leads to growth. It's the same thing with your money, right? When you invest your money in the right things, that money grows. When you invest your time, your energy, your efforts into the right people, everything grows. Your people grow, you grow, your company grows, and your bottom line grows. Everything grows. So great leaders are always investing in their people, which is truly amazing. There's people that there's a saying out there, and I'm sure many of you have heard this before. It says, well, coach, what if I invest in my people and they leave? And it says, what if you don't invest in your people and they stay? Now, what was so unique about this picture here, there's Mitchell and Ruth and Walter and Brian and just a great group of people. They committed to something, and we all committed to it together as a group in Roanoke last year, and that was to have a great year this year so we could win this year. And yes, we had some interruptions in the middle of the year, but again, there was not a whole lot of time strategizing and contemplating. The team went right to work and said, what do we have to do to stay in line with our goals this year so we could be winners in 2020? And this company is almost 100 years old. And that's what great companies do. And that's how companies last 100 years. They see problems as opportunities to get better. The leader of the company says, hey, I don't know everything, but I'm willing to learn. I'm open for help. I want to invest in my people. I want to invest in coaching. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get my team better. And that's what great leaders do, okay? Another one of my favorites is Anthony Luciano with his great company, Central. Great leaders never follow the crowd. They do what's best for their people. And I put this picture up because this was just a few months ago when people were saying, hey, we shouldn't meet in person. I don't know about meeting in person, it's dangerous, this, that, and the other thing. And Anthony said, hey, you know what? We're going to do whatever it takes to create a safe environment, but I know what's best for my people. My sales team, they need to gather now. They need each other. They need the energy. We need the energy as a company. We need to support each other. And that's exactly what they did. And you know what? The team was fired up. Team's excited. The company's winning. And that energy, right? That feeling of winning, that carries over. That's pushing them through the fourth quarter, and it's building momentum to set up a win for the first quarter of next year. So as we start to wind down, there's 6 non-negotiables to winning. And I say, number one, we went over this, define winning. Make it public. Know what winning means to each team member. Let them know what it means to you. So your team members, and again, some of you may have thousands of them, it may not be possible, but you can know what your direct reports, what's important to them. How do they define winning for themselves, for their family? Why the heck are they here, right? Next, do they know what you're all about? And it's okay to be a leader and say, hey, listen, this is what I'm working for. Let them know. You guys are in this together. Remember that unity? That's what real unity is. Unity isn't about just some campaign that a company runs and says, yeah, we're all about unity. We're going to make our people tighter by doing this. No. Unity is getting on the same page with your people and having them get on the same page with you, and then motivating the hell out of them every day, which brings me to the next one, which is challenge your team daily. Keep their goals in front of them at all times. Connect work with winning, goal achievement, and results. Challenge your people. You can do that by using their own words, when you challenge them and when you motivate them. Hey, you said that by this time you want to be having a house, be moving into your own house. That's what you said. So we got to hold you accountable to that. So therefore, this is why we have to do what we have to do. So it's important that, again, you challenge your team daily. Who's that one person? That's a question that I always ask. Again, I'm fortunate enough to coach so many different people. They're all wonderful. But I get these feelings just in terms of, when I'm thinking about a person, or they write something, or they email me, or we do a live call. Who is that one person on my team that needs something today? Who is that one person that needs a push? Who is that one person that needs a pat on the back today? That's what I'm always asking. Hey, do I need to reach out to Ruth today and see if she's okay? Hey, do I have to reach out to Holly and make sure everything's going good over there? Hey, do I need to reach out to Mitchell? Do I need to reach out to Brandon? I'm always asking myself that because I want to make these folks feel important. I want to make them feel valued. I want to let them know that their work, it's not overlooked. They're not overlooked as people, not just their work. So we got to remember that. Who needs the investment? Who needs the push? And who needs the pat on the back? Next, winning teams increase player value. You know, I was, again, fortunate to work up with the Yankees for so many years. That increased my street value, my player value. I got a chance to work with the best, coach the best, develop the best, and work as the director of performance for the best. We won championships, and just because of that, it improved my overall value. So it's important that your team knows, hey, when we win, when you work for a winner, you become more marketable. You become more valuable, respected. You know, you become overly more credible because you work for a winner. So we have to be pushing this sort of messaging to our people. And the other thing I say is focus on your IPAs, your income producing activities. I would say, show me your schedule, I'll show you your results. Show me your schedule and I'll show you your life. If you got crap on your schedule, like I talked about earlier, things that aren't in line with goals and what we're looking to achieve right now in real time, you're probably not going to hit your goals. Your income producing activities are key. These are the things that you do day in and day out that yield a result. So we don't want to do the things that keep us still or move us backwards. We want to do the things that are moving us forward. So when it comes to transaction, what is it that you do that puts points on the board for you? Whatever your position may be. What do you have to do today to improve your physicality? What do you have to do today to improve your mentality? What do you have to do today to improve your financial status or state? That all is the result of the things that you do each and every day, which are your habits and routines that will help you get to the results that you want. Lastly, I say be the biggest cheerleader, which is really hard for people, right? This person didn't do good work for me. I can't cheer them on. It's like, hey, listen, they're on your team. Figure out a way to keep them motivated and inspired by being a leader that is a cheerleader. Man, it's like, hey, coach, that's a little bit soft for me. I don't do that. You know, my team, that's not how I go about my business. I tell you what, it's a new world. The dictator-based leadership style of you do what I say, it doesn't work as much anymore. So you got to let your team know that you want them to win. You got to let them know that you care about them, but you care about them because you care about them reaching their goals. You care about them winning professionally. That's what you have to be all about. So being a cheerleader isn't just about, hey, man, come on, you're doing great. It's about, hey, remember what we committed to? Hey, let's go. Hey, remember what you said in January? Hey, remember that house you want? Like I said, remember that car you wanted to buy? Remember that retirement that you're working towards? Remember that investment level that you're working to get to? Whatever it may be. Again, every person on a team has different goals. You know, the CEO may have a goal of a future acquisition or a sell, you know, but other people on the team, they're not thinking that big because that's not what's important to them. So as a cheerleader, know what's important to them and be their biggest cheerleader. Help them grow, get them to grow, motivate them to grow. And when they know that you're invested in their growth, man, amazing things can happen. All right. Whew, that was a lot, huh? But anyway, I want to thank you. I'm gonna hang here for some questions, so just sit tight. But I committed to doing these webinars. I'm probably gonna do 2, take a few weeks off, do 2, a few weeks off, and then 2, because I want the immersion. I know how coaching works. If you could coach people every week, that's the best. Because again, people are dynamic, they're not static. So I'm gonna do this webinar next week, which is how to lead your team to victory while they're working from home, for those of you that are still working from home. But there'll be some other applications as well, even if you're not just working from home, as to how to lead. I'm gonna keep digging in on this leadership thing. But week-to-week coaching is super, super important. The other thing is, if you or your team are looking for weekly coaching, reach out, and I'm happy to do that. And I'm going to follow this email up too, with I'm going to follow this webinar up with an email with everybody with a registration link for next week, and also any other information. I'm gonna cut this one up and save it, and I'll give you a link that you can send out to your team as well. So I'm just going through some of these questions here. If you all have any, feel free, fire them away. And I appreciate Hector. Thank you. I'm going to send the video out later. Laura, your biggest problem saying I'm going to do this and going to do that. Laura, don't worry. I got you, girl. Laura's one of my great coaching clients, so we're going to keep her motivated and inspired. John Duffin, he has a great podcast and definitely one of the great voice talents out there today. And Ruth, I love you. You're the best. You always get it done for us over at RK. Who else? Laura, okay. She liked to remind you that 1/3 of the year is still ahead of us. That's a glass half full way of looking at the remainder of 2020. Totally, because how else should we look at it, right? And just so you know, I have down days too, but I realize the fastest way to change my day, for me personally, I have to go work out. That's what I do. As soon as I get myself going, everything changes. So I learned, hey, I'm going to start, no matter how tired I am in the morning, I'm going to start my day with a training session. And it's like, once I sweat, once I shower, and once I eat, bang, game over, game over. Bill Gentry, thanks for coming on. My longtime friend and one of the great coaches. And I got to bring Bill on here. Actually, we should do a webinar together, Bill, because what Bill does a great job of is exactly everything I talked about today, which is keeping people inspired and keeping the kids that he coaches and the players that are going to go to the professional ranks, getting them to the next place by positive encouragement and by focusing heavily on development, which means you're focused on process as opposed to just the outcome. So like when you train athletes, just so everybody on here that may not be in sports, which most I don't believe are, with an athlete, we know where they want to go. We want to get them to the professional level, and we want to have them, have a successful and sustainable career. But in order to do that, you got to be focused on development, which is really focusing on a day-to-day process. And that day-to-day process is always identifying strengths and weaknesses, and keeping everything close and moving them through a process. And with an athlete, again, you hope that through that day-to-day practice, through that investment, that they achieve their goal, because you've just put them and they've put themselves in the best possible position to achieve that goal. So that's something to be really aware of. And that's so Bill, I'm going to call you, and I think we're going to do something together. So we go way back, and we've been developing athletic talent for so many years. So John Duffin, will the future webinars be of different topics? Yup, absolutely. I'm very ADD, so doing the same thing over and over again is not my thing. So even when I speak to companies, I always have to change it, because I wrap similar principles together, but I'm always changing it. There's my man, Joe McCullough, another great coach out there who happens to be excelling in sales every single day. So you got it, Joe. Thank you. And the Exonify team is one of those special teams out there. I love, again, transitioning between sports and business. And what's super cool is you get to see what makes great sales teams great, and what makes great sports teams great, and what makes great companies great. So it's a whole lot of fun. So Ruth, passion plus energy equals winning. I love it. Cool. Donna, thank you. I appreciate you coming on. Thank you. And I don't know everybody yet that came on today, but I'm very happy that you stayed, and I'm very happy that you spent some time with me. Becca, thank you as always. Another great coaching client there. So thank you all very much. And like I said, I'm going to follow up with an email, and I'll cut this up. Lexi Latino, we have a great we have a great ball coming up. I'm sitting on I'm going to put a link in the email that I send out as well too. So we're working with the American Heart Association on Long Island that I'm fortunate enough to be the chairperson for as well. So I'll say this, and some of you may be hearing me rattle off all these names: Jeff Antonoro, Laura Ali, again, all wonderful people. But the most powerful currency outside of passion and enthusiasm is people. So when we invest in people and people invest in us and we care about our people, man, it's amazing what can happen. And you can build a business no matter what your business. You could fill your pipeline as a salesperson by just being a good person and being real with people. So, you know, Laura's one of the great sales trainers out there as well. So John Knapp, thank you so much. You know, professional development, that's what we're all about. So it's great that all of you were able to come on and spend this time with me. Again, I try to make it exciting. I try to bring it every time I come on, because that's what it's all about, right? So thank you all so much. If you have any specific questions, I'm going to hang for another minute. And for those of you that I don't know, just reach out. You know, my personal email is dana@danacavalea.com. So reach out. And again, if you're looking for coaching for you or your team, your organization, let me know. And I'd love to bring the fire and keep you guys inspired and keep you excited. Because there's a lot we can do. And winning is fun. You know, I whenever I speak, I wear my championship ring because, listen, there was a lot of sweat and tears that went into that, a lot of equity, a lot of sweat equity. So it's a good reminder for me, but each of you could build a championship team as well. So again, thank you all. And I will see you hopefully next week. Come on. And if you have friends or anybody else that you think would benefit, please invite them. All right. I'm signing off because I don't want to ramble too much, and I will talk to you all very soon. Thank you again, and enjoy your day. Stay strong. Remember, you're all champions. See ya.